Welcome back. We've got more Super Mario Land 2. So as you can see, we're in a tree and we're in the gummy parts of it. This is a cowfish, as different as that sounds. But okay, so I'll get back to what I was talking about. Really, yeah, so most of 1999 was the Game Boy ruled year, and I do feel like that was pretty much either the best selling game of the year or it was the best selling machine of the year, or it was the second best. But, in a lot of ways the hype was over the PlayStation 2 and the Dreamcast, but they just didn't quite have enough at that point. So, and just a few of the games that I can remember from 1999. I remember Pokemon Pinball. I remember, I think, Super Mario Brothers Deluxe, and there was a couple other games. I don't even remember. I think Star Wars Episode 1 was another one. The Game Boy Color exclusive games were starting to come out, but I had my blue Game Boy Pocket and I was just playing this game. And the amount of time I spent playing the Game Boy was not much, mainly because at the time the only machine I really had was an N64. So there just wasn't a lot. You get the occasional game that would come out in November, and then that would be about it. I guess I could describe that for you. So, people would say the Nintendo 64 was fledgling and it just didn't have enough good games, and that's probably the truth because over 5 years, the maximum amount of games it had was 200. And if you take the games that were like, Lego games and Disney games and those sorts of things, it's probably about 180 or so, maybe 190. But you get the idea. It's just there were just so many licensed games that came out that basically you were getting about 4 good games a year or so. And so really that's what I was dealing with in 1999. It was just I don't even remember what I was playing. I think I played the original Super Smash Brothers, and that ate up some of my time. And I was playing that game. I most certainly was. I got that June 1999. And I remember the commercial when it came out. There were like these four dolls, these Teletubby-esque dolls. Each of them are people in outfits. One was in a Mario, Yoshi, Pikachu, and one other person. And I just remember Yoshi tripping Pikachu, and then it had like the record scratch, so you knew what. So you knew that a fight was amiss, and then that was it. I'm certain that you could find it on the internet, but Smash Brothers did have advertising in the 90s. Now, I do kind of miss this creativity, but we just didn't get it. So, naturally, another thing that was really big around that time was wrestling, but I just missed that entire train. And there was a ton of mishaps going on. Zelda was naturally one that you could play, but I think I did rent that in 1999 actually. It was, yeah. As far as this game is concerned, I beat this over the course of like 2 weeks or so. I would play the games until the batteries died in this Game Boy, and this was about the only game that I really had. So, and that was the thing. I just didn't understand the other types of games that were out, but I was able to beat this game. And naturally, when you think about it, not many people really talked about the Game Boy outside of Pokemon. It's like, oh, you have a Game Boy, you must have Pokemon then. You know what I mean? That's kind of the situation that was in place. And I was just trying to figure out what the third and second and fourth best games of the machine were. And naturally, I found one, which you're going to see on my channel. It's Link's Awakening, but, in a lot of ways, this game, I feel like people were not willing to do the puzzles in the dungeon. Puzzle games are very tricky just because a lot of people just aren't up to doing them. So, obviously a game like Tetris Attack isn't going to get as much attention as Pokemon, but um, that was one. And of course, I've got Contra, which I'm going to be doing very soon. I feel like these sorts of games, these 80s and 90s blockbusters, I wasn't paying attention to the original Nintendo, but there's a lot of good games for it. It's a underrated machine. And I was watching Battletoads last night, but that game, I don't even know if I could LP that just because of how difficult it is. There is this stage where you have to, the turbo tunnels or something like that, and I'm not prepared for it. But alright, subscribe for more fun. We've got more on the way.